You're listening to Body Confident Friday, the place to be for tools, strategies, and perspectives to help you feel more comfortable and confident in your body. I'm Judi Craddock, the body confidence coach, author of the little book of body confidence, and creator of the Body Confidence Journey, the coaching program for women who want to stop chasing the perfect body and embrace the one that they are in. Welcome to the show. So today I am going to be talking about body image and high sensitivity. So I'm going to cover what it means to be an HSP, which stands for highly sensitive person, and also how this trait can impact the way that you feel about your body. And in fact, this episode is inspired by a conversation I had with my lovely friend and colleague, Lisa Parks, who is an intuitive coach for sensitives. It was inspired by a conversation we had about body image and high sensitivity on her amazing podcast, the Wildheart Diaries. And it really got me thinking about all the ways that high sensitivity has had an effect on my body image throughout my life. And so I really want to share this experience with you. I'm also going to make sure that I link to the episode of the Wildheart Diaries on body image and high sensitivity below wherever you are listening right now, because it is jam-packed with valuable content whether you're an HSP or not. So make sure that you go and check that episode out, because I think you're going to find it really valuable. So back to this episode of Body Confident Friday. First thing I want to ask you is, do you identify as a highly sensitive person? So if you don't know what an HSP is, it stands for highly sensitive person. And this is a term that was first coined by Elaine Aron. And an HSP, according to Elaine Aron, is someone who has a sensitive nervous system. And that is one that is more aware of the subtleties in its environment. And as a result, HSPs can be more easily overwhelmed by any environment that their nervous system finds highly stimulating. And so because HSPs process things around them more deeply, they have a tendency to be more reflective, to more easily make associations, and to overthink things. So if you're interested to know more about this trait and whether you're an HSP, I highly recommend you check out Elaine Aron's book, The Highly Sensitive Person: How to Thrive When the World Overwhelms You. And that's really where I first learnt about my own high sensitivity. So I've known that I'm an HSP for the last 10 years or so. And growing up, I was often told that I was too sensitive by my parents and other people. And I ended up feeling like it was quite a flaw or a weakness to be highly sensitive. But learning about high sensitivity in adulthood, I've really come to value this trait that I have, because I see it as something that really helps me to be attentive and sensitive to other people's needs, to be able to kind of step into their shoes and empathize with them. And I'm also very intuitive and creative. And so I always think it's really important to note that high sensitivity is a trait. It is not a flaw or some kind of condition or diagnosis to be overcome. So let's talk about how body image and high sensitivity interact, and what impact, if any, does being an HSP have on the way that you feel about your body. So I've looked for any research that I could find in this area, and from what I can tell, it's not an area that has been researched very widely, if at all. And please, if you know any different, please send the research my way, because I would really love to see it. So what I'm going to share with you is really my experience of how high sensitivity has impacted the way that I feel about my body. And so I'm going to share with you 3 different ways that I feel it can impact your body image. So see if any of these resonate with you. And I apologise if you heard any background noise there, like it's kind of winter and I can hear like some kind of lawnmower or something going on, but anyway, I digress. So here are a few different ways that high sensitivity can impact your body image. So first of all, if you're an HSP, you may internalize messages about bodies more deeply. So we have so much content that we can consume about how our bodies should and shouldn't look on social media, on TV, and from conversations with family and friends. And so it's really easy for anyone to get overwhelmed with body anxiety, mainly because of just the sheer volume of stuff that's out there. But for an HSP who processes information on a much deeper level, it's going to have an even bigger impact. And because HSPs are more self-reflective, it can mean that if you're an HSP, you're more prone to self-criticism, and you can start to get quite perfectionistic with the way that your body looks. Because every time you process some content telling you how to look, that content and those messages from that content become more and more a part of your own belief system. That's really what I mean by internalizing those messages. They become part of your beliefs, and you see them as your truth. In my 20s and 30s, I really took to heart every piece of information about how I should look, to the point where I really believed that my looks, my body size and shape did determine my value as a human. And it took a lot of work for me to dismantle my beliefs about appearance and find some new ways to relate to my body. And part of this work was being really careful about the kind of information I consumed about bodies and appearance, and really carefully curating or controlling the content that I looked at. So that's really the first way that high sensitivity could be impacting your body image. The second way is that if you're an HSP, you may be more prone to overthinking. So high sensitivity processing can mean that you overthink, which means it's much easier for you to get stuck in ruminating about your body and kind of going into a negative thought spiral. And overthinking can mean that you start to obsess about how you look, what you eat, how much you exercise. And it does mean that I think that HSPs can be more prone to disordered eating and a disordered relationship with exercise as well. And I'm definitely an overthinker. And in the past, I obsessed about every detail of my appearance, the food I ate, and how much exercise I did. And what I had to do is start to acknowledge that my thoughts were really a conditioned response, so that I could separate myself from those thoughts and break that cycle of body rumination. So that's the second way that high sensitivity may have an impact on your body image. And the final one that I want to share with you is that if you're an HSP, it's likely you deeply care about what other people think. You deeply care about other people, period. And as an HSP, you care deeply about how people perceive you, but you also care about the impact that you have on other people. And this can make you more of a people pleaser. And so this inclination to please others can mean that you take comments about your body to heart, or you even make assumptions about what other people are thinking because you're prone to that rumination and overthinking. And because you want your loved ones to be proud of you, you can feel like you've let them down, for example, if you put on weight or you don't look a certain way. And so caring too much about what others think can lead to a number of appearance fixing behaviours. And this was certainly my experience, particularly with an ex-boyfriend I had who was very critical of my appearance. And so my desire to kind of win his love and admiration led me down this path of compulsive appearance fixing behaviours. And it really wasn't until I could detach my worth from my appearance that I realised I deserved respect within a relationship, and that didn't include being picked on for how I looked. So these are just some of the ways that I personally have experienced my body image and high sensitivity interacting together. And this is by no means an exhaustive list, and you've probably got your own observations to share. So I'd love it if you can share those below wherever you're listening. Now, before I wrap up this episode, I don't want you to think that high sensitivity is a curse, because cultural conditioning might suggest sensitivity is weakness. But I know, and I know many people feel that in this messed up world, we need more people who can feel deeply, who can empathize with others. So please don't beat yourself up for having what is a really beautiful trait. But what I want you to take away from this episode is an awareness of how high sensitivity might impact the way that you feel about your body, so that you can put in place some strategies to perhaps protect your body image. So what might that look like? That might look like spending less time on social media, or taking a break from it, or coming off it altogether if you find the content on there overwhelming. Or if you're a ruminator when it comes to your body, it may be time to kind of get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper as part of a journaling practice, so you can start to separate yourself from those thoughts. Or if you're really worried about what other people might be saying or thinking about your body, perhaps it's time to set some boundaries around comments about your body, or to distance yourself from people who are body toxic. Now, as an HSP, if you are one, it's highly likely you're an intuitive person. So really think about what might work best for you to help you manage your body image and high sensitivity, and trust your instincts on this one. I would love to hear about your personal experience of body image and high sensitivity. So please do leave a comment below wherever you are listening. That's all I've got for this episode of Body Confident Friday. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to catch you next time.